Have you ever noticed how easy it is to say yes? Even when every part of you wants to say no. You agree to things you don't have time for. You take on responsibilities you don't want. And later, you feel drained, frustrated, or quietly resentful. But here's the interesting part. This behavior isn't about being weak. And it isn't about being too nice. Psychology suggests it often reveals something much deeper about how you relate to yourself and others. And as you listen, you might recognize parts of your own mindset. For some people, people-pleasing starts with fear of conflict. They learned, often early in life, that disagreement leads to tension, rejection, or emotional distance. So their brain began to associate no with danger. Over time, saying yes became a safety strategy. Not because they wanted to help, but because avoiding conflict felt more important than honoring their own needs. In simple terms, their nervous system chooses peace in the moment, even if it creates stress later. For others, the pattern comes from self-worth tied to approval. These are people who feel valued when they're needed, when they're helpful, when others rely on them. Psychologists describe this as external validation. It means your sense of worth comes from how others respond to you. So saying no feels risky. It feels like withdrawing value. Like losing connection. The yes isn't about generosity. It's about reassurance. And then there's a third group. They don't struggle with confidence or fear. They struggle with empathy without boundaries. They feel others' stress deeply. They imagine disappointment before it even happens. And they take responsibility for emotions that aren't theirs to carry. Their kindness is real. But without limits, it slowly becomes self-neglect. What all these patterns have in common is this. The brain learns that short-term comfort is safer than long-term honesty. But here's what psychology also shows. People who learn to pause before responding, to sit with discomfort instead of avoiding it, often discover that respect grows, not shrinks. Saying no doesn't make you selfish. It makes your yes meaningful. And people who understand this aren't less kind. They're more self-aware. So if you struggle to say no, it doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It means your mind learned a strategy that once helped you feel safe. The question is, does it still serve the life you want now? If this made you reflect on your own patterns, you'll find many more insights like this here. Subscribe to Psychology Logic if you want to understand yourself more clearly. Not through judgment, but through calm, honest psychology. And take a moment to ask yourself, what would change if your yes came from choice, not pressure?